Okay everyone, welcome back to the Long Dark video number 5 in our playing the long game playthrough, and we are here outside the farmstead. It is kind of just past midday. We are not too late in the day, and that is our target right there in front of us, the radio tower. That's where we're aiming for today. We're going to go on a little trip. Hopefully we can get up there before it goes dark. A little bit of housekeeping that I've done, not very much really since the end of the last video. I've just put away some supplies that I don't need to carry with me. I've got food, I've got water, and I've done just a little bit of sorting and tidying it out. I just need to eat a little bit before we get moving. But I am standing out here in the cold. I am going to start to lose my warmth bonus.
Starving.
So let's get ourselves moving. The way up to the radio tower is a little bit tricky. That is an unexpected issue. Okay, I'm kind of hoping I can get around there without being charged by the bear. That would kind of suck this early on in the playthrough. Hopefully the bear will... If the bear rears up, I'm just going to run that way very quickly and just hope. Actually, to be fair, at this point, if the bear reels up, my best bet's going to be to run towards the house. Because then I'm as close as I can be. Oh, dear, we've got wolves to contend with as well. We're going to have to do this a long way. Well, this is a fun start to this little trek. I'm only doing it because it's about the only man-made structure left in Pleasant Valley that we haven't been to, where there's likely to be some loot. So I want to go and see what we can loot up there. There isn't going to be very much, let's be fair. But it's worth going up and just seeing what there is. I was just kind of hoping that it would be a little bit better, a little bit easier trek, but this is the Long Dark. We are in stalker mode, so I shouldn't really be that surprised that it's proving a little bit tricky. On the plus side, at least we know we're not going to encounter the bear down here, because you can come across the bear down by the road, so at least we know we're not gonna... That's not gonna happen. Okay, looks like we've got a clear run across here now, so let's get ourselves moving. Oop. Walls are coming back this way, so let's do a little bit of sprinting just to clear the wolves. I don't want to tangle with them if I can avoid it. Quite a lot of noise going on outside today. It's also very cold in here. I've got my own Long Dark going on. It's freezing in here today. Okay, so we made it to the road. So let's make our way around to the radio tower. And I shall see you very shortly when we get there. Okay, so I am now up by the radio tower. A little bit of a trek round, but it's not too bad. It's not too far. Let's just gather up a few bits and pieces. We've got some sticks around here, which I think will be useful for us. Let's just gather them up. I'm not going to go too mad. I'm not going to get too many of them. And while I'm up here, we might as well survey. Because that will fill in a little bit on the map. So you can see that's where we were, that's where we now are. And we've actually kind of done a loop around this way. It's kind of where we've gone. I'll map that on the way back so you can see where we've been and where we've gone. I'm going to start trying to bring the map. Oh, we've got a sapling over there. Awesome. We can go and get that in a minute. We've got some good stuff here. I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time up here by the radio tower. Just gather the resources that are up here and take them all back down again. So, we're probably not going to find very much up here, but hopefully we'll find some useful stuff as we make our way towards the actual tower. It's usually relatively safe up here. Wolves don't venture up here as a rule, although that doesn't automatically mean that they won't. Signal Hill is the official location. Gotta find where the break in the wire is. It's round the back. I think we can also, there's a rope climbing section there. If we have a rope, we can use that to get some quicker access to and from this, but we haven't got one, so unfortunately we're a little bit stuck with that. And I think the fire barrel is actually outside. Yes, here it is. This fire barrel, so that's outside. No fireplace inside, but it's still going to be warm inside, so let's head in and see what we find here. Now, obviously, this is oh, another lantern, that's good. We'll do the normal trip, we'll just go through Just search for everything, find everything. Let's break out that lantern. Actually, we can see we're pretty tired, thirsty, hungry, and everything. Don't light the flare. I haven't got many of those. We'll waste them. Let's get this storm lantern lit. See what we're doing. Ooh, rifle cartridge. We've got the first aid kit. See what's in here.
This stuff will come in handy.
So you can tell that we're in Stalker because we don't find many things. Most of the lockers containers are empty. And we don't find many stuff. Lots of rifle ammunition. It's just haven't got a rifle. What's that? A military coat. Ooh, that might be good. Take that bit of cloth. I suppose it does make sense. I mean, we don't know what kind of radio installation this was. It's obviously a communication station of some description. Okay, I'll look through the drawers. So, normal pattern. You've seen me do this before. Normal pattern. Just go through absolutely everything and see what there is. Gather it all together, then we'll go through it all properly. Work out what we get. Obviously, we're not going to be leaving anything up here. So, I didn't think we'd find very much. So, we found a few things, which is good. Let's have a look in here. Oops, in here. There's something under the bed. Another rifle cartridge and some combat trousers. That's cool. Ooh, an emergency stim. Now they do come in handy as an absolute last ditch effort to keep yourself going. They do actually work. I have used one before.
Starving.
If you've watched my previous playthrough, which we kind of aborted. Ooh, we've got some good clothing up here actually. Wow. We've got lots of very heavy coats. I don't think we're going to be able to carry all those. And another flare, which is good. Anything else over here? Yeah, I've used an emergency stim before. They did get me there. Ooh, that's a fire striker. That's a nice find. Another sewing kit. Obviously, we are encumbered, but don't worry too much about that. And we do have some food. We've got some water. We've got some coffee. And a few tinned items. And an MRE. MREs are always valuable as well. So, not too bad a haul, actually, to be fair. We've not done too bad. So, let's just have a quick go through everything. Obviously, we're warming up nicely in here compared to where we were. Let's have a quick look through what we've just picked up then. So, we've now got a fire striker. It's not a great fire striker, but it's a fire striker. So, that'll help us with some fire lighting. We picked up a little bit of reclaimed wood newspaper as well. We might as well just... actually... Let's just put this out so we're not wasting fuel before we look like idiots. Let's craft that into tinderplug straight away. Might as well. No other use for it, so we might as well just get on and do what we need to do with it. There we are. So we've got 12 tinderplugs, 5 striker matches, and we've got plenty of fire starting material. All that good stuff. We now have an emergency stim, so it really is a last-ditch effort. If you're using an emergency stim, you really are at the edge of survival. But it will give you a burst. It will give you a bit of a condition kick. It will give you a burst of everything. You can move, you can get yourself going, but then you will crash. Your fatigue level, your sleep need will drop through the floor as soon as you've used it. So it really is last resort. But it can get you out of sticky situations.
I would drink almost anything about now.
That's fine, don't worry, we're going to sort that out in a moment. Clothing-wise then, I'm going to go through this properly in a minute, but obviously we've just picked up a lot of coats. We've got a lot of coats going on here, so I'm sure we can make ourselves a little bit warmer with what we've now got. Food, we're doing okay. Let's just drink some water since we are moaning about that. Now, we do have an MRE, but its condition isn't brilliant, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and eat that now. Normally I save them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use it now. So that will give me an almost complete calorie intake. There we go. So that will see us through the night quite comfortably. We've also picked up 7 rounds of rifle ammunition, another cleaning kit, another storm lantern, which is in much better condition than the one we have been using, which is that one. So that's pretty good. So we'll keep using our pretty broken one for now. We'll save that one. Another sewing kit. So we've picked up a few bits and pieces, and we're not doing too bad. Now we are heading towards darkness, though, as you can see. So I think what I'm going to do now, now that we're all set, I'm going to sleep through the night. We'll get to the following morning, then we'll go and do a little bit of exploring outside. So I shall see you in the morning. Okay, so the weather outside, as you can hear, is not looking very, or not sounding very nice. I'm just going to stick my head outside the door and see what it's actually doing, but I can't imagine it's going to look good. Yeah, it's not brilliant. I can imagine it's very cold. -37. Okay, let's go back inside then. So we're not going anywhere at the moment. But what we are going to do is sort our clothing out, because we were going to have a look at that. So let's see what we can do. So first things first, we are above freezing, which is good. Let's get into the clothing system then. So we've picked up a lot of really good stuff. We've got an extra pair of trousers. We have an empty slot, so we might as well just pop them on. So that now means we're wearing 2 pairs of underwear and 2 pairs of trousers. Now, I've said this so many times before, the way I do it is I go for warmth over weight. So I'm quite happy to wear lots and lots of very heavy clothing because it keeps me warm, stops me from freezing, lets me trudge long distances. I can't run, but then if you run, you fatigue yourself anyway. So I don't tend to do that. I only do that if I absolutely have to. Most of the time, I will just trudge. So that is what we're going to be doing. So I'm quite happy to wear lots and lots of clothes. So I've got 2 pairs of trousers, 2 pairs of underwear on, 2 pairs of socks, and I have a possibility of changing some shoes. And in fact, they are actually a pretty good. It's probably because oh, actually no, condition-wise. Okay, well, I think I'm going to be wearing the work boots. Have steel caps, which means we can't run as fast, but they are warmer. That is one where I would actually normally favour these. The difference isn't enormous. And in fact, I am inclined. I think I'm going to stick with the trail boots rather than the work boots with that one. But let's have a look at what we've now got up here, because we picked up a lot of coats. We've got 4 of them. So let's see. Mariner's pea coat I've always liked, I always tend to use. That's worse than the pea coat. It's 1.4 warmth, 1.4 wind chill. So Mariner's coat's winning at the minute. That's 1.5. This is a little better than the military coat. It's probably because the military coat's in quite bad condition, to be fair. And, oh, this is a good one. An urban parka long heavy coat, suitable for urban survivalists, but the extra length might help keep your kidneys warm. It's in pretty much top-notch condition, and I get 2 warmth bonus on wind chill and 2.4. So it's actually the best of the bunch. I have a feeling this will actually be a lot better if it was fully repaired, but I don't think I've got the full materials to do it. I think I can. No, I haven't got enough. So I'm going to take this with me, this coat. But I'm going to wear this one for the moment. So let's pop that one on. So we've now got 2 coats on. Oh, no, I haven't. I've inadvertently replaced it. Let's put my Mariner's coat on the other slot. So I'm wearing my Mariner's coat and this urban parka, and then I've got my 2 sets of clothing underneath. So I now have a warmth bonus of plus 13 degrees centigrade. That's how it works, and that will help us. So it feels like, I don't know at the moment because it doesn't show you on that menu. If I bring this one up, it feels like 11 degrees, and it felt like 7 degrees before. So it's jumped several degrees just by changing our clothing. But I'm going to leave some of that clothing behind. I'm not going to take it with me. I'm just going to drop it on the floor. So, because I'm encumbered, I want to get rid of this excess clothing because there's better goodies out there that we can go and get. So, I've got a simple parka here that is of very little use to me. It's not as warm as my other clothing, so I'm going to drop it. I think that's actually it. Oh, and these work boots as well. We'll drop those. Don't need to be carrying those. We're not going to be using them. The military coat, I think once we've repaired it, it's heavy, but I think it will be a good bet. I think that and the pea coat will be a good choice. So, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that back, we're going to get it repaired. But right now, it's still a bit windy sounding out there, so I don't think there's a fat lot we can really do at the minute. So, actually, if we've got enough light to do some research, we haven't researched this book. I'm clicking around randomly until I finally find where it is. There it is. Can we research it? I think we can. Let's research a couple of hours then, partly because I didn't check if I was dehydrated before I started doing it. So basically, what researching books does, it builds up your skill. So this one's going to build up our ice fishing skill. So as soon as we haven't done any ice fishing yet, obviously your skill builds up the more you do something. We haven't done any yet, so our skill's right down at the bottom. But this will actually give us a boost. It'll knock us up a skill point just by reading this book. Obviously, we have to take our time to do it. So we've done 1 hour of research. And that will work quite nicely. I think we might have stopped because we got dehydrated. But the sound outside has died down a little bit. So let's head out and see if we can find any goodies around this area if the weather is now cooperating with us. What's the temperature like? -19. Not too bad. I think I can live with that. Let's get rid of the storm lantern and be carrying that out. Okay, so I spotted a couple of goodies when I came out here. Right, I'm going to check this rope drop. I call them rope drops. But I don't think it's got a rope on it. Nope, it does not. So I don't have a mountaineering rope. That will help us, as you can see, get up very, very quickly. That's the orchard that's attached to the farmstead, which is over there. But obviously without the rope, there's not very much we can do. With the rope, it drops us down there, which puts us very, very close to just being able to go straight into the driveway of the farmstead. But unfortunately, we haven't got a rope, so there's not much we can do about that. Incidentally, something that's worth bearing in mind, once you've deployed a rope, you can't pull it up again. So think very carefully where you're going to deploy ropes. Don't deploy them willy-nilly, because you can't get them back up again once you've deployed them. Now, I spotted some old man's beard around here somewhere. I don't think I grabbed. Is that a limb that's harvestable? I know it's quite large, but if that's harvestable for firewood, that... yeah. 1 hour. Okay, I'm going to risk that. I know we're going to get cold, but... hey, that's pretty good, okay. How much of a hypothermia risk have I got? 18%, it's -9. I reckon I've got a little bit of time to go a little bit further.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Yeah, I know, we are a little bit encumbered. What I'm after is a sapling. I spotted a sapling around here, and I want it. Saplings are craftable items. They're used in crafting. You use them to craft bows and arrows. There's two different types of sapling, maple and birch, and of the different ones are used for different purposes. I can't remember, to be honest, which one's used for which, not without looking. But yep.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
But we're going to need them both to be able to craft some bows and arrows, which is ultimately what we want to do. We haven't found a rifle, so we need to have some way of hunting. And the bows and arrows is probably going to be our best bet, as we can actually make that. Let's grab this old man's beard as well, at least some of it. So I'm conscious of my hypothermia risk and everything else, so let's head back to the tower now. But yes, we can craft using the saplings. Now, as with hides and as with gut that you harvest from animals, if you've never played the game before, you'll see that when we get there. We haven't done that yet. You have to leave it to dry, air dry, inside. It has to be inside a building. It doesn't work inside a cave that's not counted as an interior location. It has to be an interior location. And you have to leave it out, just leave it on the ground for an X amount of time, depending on what the item is, that varies, before you can craft with it. So at the moment it's a green sapling, and when we get to that point where we can craft, it'll become a cured sapling and we can actually use it in crafting. So right now we can't do anything with it, but soon we will be able to use it. And hopefully we can make ourselves a bow and arrow with it. We'll pop it down on the ground in here whilst we're still up here. We've pretty much done everything we can do up here, I think. There is a cabin that we can get to from here, which we might go and visit. But I'm going to do that once we've cured our hypothermia risk. Let's just get rid of the... I don't know why I'm going in there. Let me just get rid of this sapling. So there it is. It's a green sapling. It's not cured at all. If I drop it on the floor, you can see, or at least you hopefully can see. Where is it? I should have paid more attention to where I was dropping it. Drat. Bear with me. I think I buried... yeah, there we are. Buried it under all of this. There you go. There's a green maple sapling. I'm going to pop it somewhere or I'm not going to lose it. Let's pop it there. And you can see that it's 1% cured, so we have to basically leave it like that for, I think it's 6 days in the case of a sapling. And after that point, it will become craftable. We can use it to craft with. Right now we can't. So that's basically how crafting works in the game. Crafting some of these materials, you have to leave them to cure before you can actually use them. And that's the case with the saplings. So we're going to leave it there. Leave it out for as long as you can. Obviously, when we're ready to move on, we'll pick it up and take it with us. It only works in indoor locations. And the way to tell if it's a proper indoor location, there will be a cutscene. There will be a cut between the outside and the inside. If you don't get that, you're not in an interior location, it ain't going to cure. So that's a way of remembering that. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done for what we can do up here. So our next strategy, I think, is going to be to make a move down, possibly try and locate, I know there is a cabin, so we might go and try and locate that. But before we do that, I'm just going to do a little bit more map making, because we did a little bit of map making up here. And what I want to try and do is build up the maps of the regions that we're in. So we've healed our hypothermia a little bit, not a lot. It's still 21%. It's -6 degrees, so it's not actually that bad. What I want to do is clear it up a little bit out here. Whoops. There we go. What I want to do is stand by this rope drop and survey here, because in theory, it should map what's visible to me. In fact, you can see, now it's cleared up a bit. Look at that, ain't that cool? Really good view from up here. So you can see the road, you can see there's the Pleasant Valley Farmstead, that's our base camp, there's the orchard, you can see the bear still wandering about down there. You can see the red barn over there, and down there is the urban crossroads, or the rural crossroads rather. And we've got various other things. There is another burnt out farmstead, I think it's over vaguely in that direction. You can see the river there that we can follow. And over in that direction somewhere is Timberwolf Mountain. That is probably Timberwolf Mountain itself. We're not going to be going up there just yet. We are not ready for that. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool up here. You can see an awful lot. But I don't know how well this is going to map. So let's just see. I think it's still going to just do the little circle where we are, yeah. But we've got a nice little view out over to the farmstead there. So there we go. So you've got a general idea of where we are. To get back to the farmstead, we kind of have to go that way. And then we come back up the road. And go across to the farmstead. So I'll map that as I go back so that you can see where we're going. Other regions that we can visit from here. If you follow the road right over there, you head off to Desolation Point. You can also head off to Coastal Highway through a cave, which is not actually very far from where we are. And of course Mystery Lake by going down that way and heading on up towards the transition area from Mystery Lake. So this is why I've chosen this region as my main base, because it connects to so many different places. Of course, Timberwolf Mountain over that way as well. So there's so many different places that this connects to that we can explore. Okay, so we've done a little bit of map making. We've done quite well in this video. We've come up to the radio tower. We've looted the radio tower. There isn't very much in here, so the next video we're going to be heading back away from the radio tower again. I just want to get my health all sorted out, get my hypothermia risk healed, leave that thing to cure for a little bit, and then we'll head down. I think I'm going to try and find, there's a little hut that I don't think is very far away from here. We might go and try and find that. Or we might just head back to the farmstead and have a think about what we're going to do next. One of the downsides of Pleasant Valley is there isn't very much to explore on it. It's a large map, but it is quite empty. There's not many man-made structures, nothing to explore. So I am toying with the idea of sort of quite early on heading across to Desolation Point. Desolation Point's a relatively small region. It should be quite safe for us to get there. It shouldn't be too difficult this early in the game. We haven't got much kit, but we should be okay. We should be able to get to Desolation Point. To be fair, we should be able to get to Mystery Lake, and we should be able to get to Coastal Highway as well. But I think we can safely get to Desolation Point. That's a relatively small region. There isn't going to be very much there, so we can probably go through that, gather it all together quite quickly, bring everything back here, and then see where we are about going to some of the other bigger regions and doing a little bit of exploring. But let's head back inside, because we are still at hypothermia risk, which is getting higher and higher and higher and higher. So let's just see what our hypothermia risk now is. 32%. Okay, I'm staying inside now. So we are at the end of this video now, so thank you so much for joining me as always. Unfortunately, I'm kind of stopping a little bit short. If you keep wondering why I keep looking down there, it's because I have another phone with a stopwatch on it. We are a little bit short, but there isn't really much I can do in the time we have left, so we'll call it a day. We'll wrap it up here. We're on day 7 of our playing the long game run through the long dark. So I don't know what have we done today. So this is video 5. What have we done? Trip up to the radio tower. Looted and found a sapling. So yeah, not a fat lot that we've done. Oh, and we've done some mapping as well. Well, if I could type. If only I could type. It's not like it's my day job or anything. Okay, so there we go. So thank you so much for joining me, as always, in the long dark. In the next video, we're going to head back down to the farmstead. In fact, we might even start the next video in the farmstead. Let me see. how well that's going to pan out. But yeah, we're going to go back down to the farmstead, and we're going to do a little bit of sorting out, and then I think we might have a trek to Desolation Point and see where we stand. But right now, thank you so much for joining me for The Long Dark. As always, please remember to check out the other videos in the series, which will be over on the left, which is that side, or that side. I never know which way around this video is going to be. So it's going to be over there. So check out those videos. Hit the subscribe button, which is definitely going to be down below there. And remember to join me for some more videos very, very soon. Thank you, as always. I shall see you again very soon.